This is the Washington Times front page for Thursday, September 7th, 2023. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. It's one of the striking undercurrents of the GOP nomination battle. Even as his legal woes pile up, Republicans still back former President Trump in overwhelming numbers. Seth MacLachlan reports electability, usually a major threshold question for primary voters, has become meaningless to most Republican voters, according to Patrick Murray, director of the Monmouth University Polling Institute. Still, Americans for Prosperity, a super PAC backed by billionaire conservative activist Charles Koch, has been airing ads against Trump in some Super Tuesday states. A Virginia mother is suing her local school district, which she says declined to notify her that her daughter was identifying as a boy at school and was being harassed and assaulted by other students. Alex Royer reports Michelle Blair said her daughter ran away from home and was sexually abused as a result of Appomattox County Public Schools' failure to notify her. In her lawsuit, Blair says her daughter Sage told a school official that she identified as a boy, but did not make her gender identity change known at home. The school did not either, she says. Instead, the filing claims school officials encouraged Sage to use the boys' restroom, where she was harassed and assaulted. As another NFL season kicks off, the Washington Commanders enter the year with hope that perception is starting to change. In the nearly 7 weeks since he took over, Matt Paras reports new owner Josh Harris and his partners have made notable progress toward rekindling interest in a franchise that had seen its fan base and fortunes wither under former owner Dan Snyder. Sunday's home opener against the Arizona Cardinals is sold out. The team has added thousands of new season ticket holders, and ownership announced $40 million in upgrades coming to aging FedEx Field. There have been plenty of other positive signs. Big-name sponsors have returned to the Commanders, including Verizon and Anheuser-Busch, and politicians across the region are openly discussing negotiations on a long-talked-about new stadium. The conservative-leaning Law Enforcement Legal Defense Fund says more than a dozen prosecutors linked to campaign committees or organizations funded by Democratic donor George Soros have left office after resigning, losing re-election, or being removed. Valerie Richardson reports they include embattled St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner, who resigned in May, Hillsborough County State Attorney Andrew Warren, who was removed last year by Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, and Baltimore City State's Attorney Marilyn Mosby, who lost her 2022 primary after being hit with a federal indictment. Another, Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx, announced in April that she won't seek re-election next year amid outrage over crime in Chicago. And finally, Susan Ferricchio looks into more records from President Biden's tenure as vice president, including calls in 2015 to the Ukrainian energy firm that employed his son, Hunter. Additionally, special counsel David Weiss said in a court filing that he intends to seek an indictment on gun charges against Hunter by the end of this month. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Washington Times in any major podcast app. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.